What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks so much for being here and for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. Let's just brighten up the place. So let's get into this podversation/reality chat. All right, guys. She Lame. I don't even really know how else to put it when it comes to Sheree, but listen, guys, she's lame. She really is. And I watched the first part of this reunion, which honestly, watching it from start to finish, and even just seeing this season, I believe the rumors when it comes to the reboot of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, because honestly, all of it's just over. I just feel like everything that these people that have been on the show, especially, no hate, Kenya and Candy, has been told when it comes to their lives. Not saying that there's not more to come and there's not more that they're going to be doing, but I'm just really over it at this point. And those who, if it actually did happen, or if it did happen, I could say, in my personal opinion, it may have been people who work for Candy that were sending the threats to the RHOA producers. And I'm not saying that they did, but I'm saying in my personal opinion, if it actually did happen, I could see it being them, because it's like, that's the main cash cow that funds all of the other business ventures that Candy has. Not to say that the other things aren't making money. Obviously, she's making money on the views that she has now on YouTube, because I thought it was even funny when I saw Andy ask the question. I believe it was in a preview clip. It wasn't actually on the episode last night. In my personal opinion, I don't even think that's a question that someone wrote in and asked. I believe that is something that Andy asked. And I do believe a lot of those questions that Andy says that other people are asking, it's stuff that he's asking because he's messy. But there was one question where someone was allegedly asking Candy, how do you feel creating a YouTube channel where you're just trashing the other members of the cast? I think he asked that. I don't think anybody else asked that question. But listen, this isn't even about everybody that's on The Real Housewives of Atlanta right now. I really just want to talk about She Lame, because they started off the episode showcasing Hotel and just his ridiculousness. He is absolute trash. And the fact that she tried to portray this fake relationship off to the public as if it was real and that we should give him a chance, give him a try. She's saying all of this garbage about he's nothing like they show on television. But yet when she was asked about him, she admits, but will not fully admit as to why, but admits that she pulled back. They asked about the revenge, PORN, that he tried to put out there on his ex-wife. And Kenya was absolutely right. She was like, I just don't see how any woman would want to be with a man who definitely is known to be a womanizer, had a child on his wife, and would do some mess like that. And that's exactly what Sheree did. She knew all of these things about him. Yeah, granted, she didn't know about the revenge porn before she got with him, but in my personal opinion, I don't think that she pulled back from him because of the things that he actually was doing and was alleged to have done with regard to this situation. It was just the fact of how it makes her look. Because when it comes to her, and him too, but when it comes to her, she's definitely all about image and there's no substance. But that honestly makes him all the more perfect for him, because, for her, I should say, that makes him all the more perfect for her because he is all about image and absolutely has zero substance. You know what I mean? She said that there were a number of things. Why can't you just name it? Put a name on it. Put a label on it. What was it exactly? Don't say it was a number of things, because see, that's why I don't even believe the story about Bob and her not knowing about that child. I believe she knew. I do not believe that she just found out about that child, who was actually an adult, at her granddaughter's sip and see party that she had for herself. I don't believe that. That even though Bob has portrayed and shown us a lot of instances where he's not a really great person, if you watched the Iyanla Fix My Life, where it was she and he, and yeah, granted, we saw later on where he said some terrible things about him putting or threatening to put his hands on her. Absolutely wrong. I'm not even going to say but. She absolutely has some terrible traits as well as a woman and as a mother. A lot of the reasons why he won in court when it comes to the financials is because of some terrible things that she did. And we already know that when it comes to child support and things like that, the courts, they don't rule a lot of times in the father's favor when it comes to child support. So there were a lot of things that she was supposed to have done that she did not do when it comes to the financials. And then allegedly, some people were saying allegedly, that the furniture in the home that was foreclosed on, where they had the broken gate, was stolen. And some people are saying allegedly she actually made that happen. She got the furniture stolen. And seeing how she was hooking up with a man who was in prison for white collar crimes, I could see it being an actual thing. I don't have any proof to that. Again, this is some things that other people were saying, but I could see it being real. And so to see her sit on the couch next to Andy and just being absolutely, utterly ridiculous and extra, won't admit to getting her booty done. She talks about how she had trouble breathing. So she was like, well, while you're at it, go ahead and tweak my nose too. Girl, please, you have no problem breathing the hot air through the nose and through the mouth. Just admit you got your nose done. Just admit it. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong if that's what you wanted to do and you got it done. I have a problem with people like that who claim that they did it because it was for some medical reason. And then they said, well, you know what, while you're at it, go ahead and fix the cosmetic part of it as well. Girl, please, you did not have any medical issues with your breathing. She's a liar. I don't believe her. I do not believe her when it comes to that. But listen, this isn't even just about the fact that she would not absolutely 100% admit as to why she pulled back from Hotel, but I did find it ironic that that's how they started out the episode of the reunion, asking her about this ass clown, because she loves to deflect. She loves to put 20 on 10. And when she was going back and forth with Candy, I thought it was ridiculous. And listen, I'm at this point in time, I'm no fan of Candy because of the situation that happened between her and Courtney and having that ridiculous chick on the show, which it's kind of funny to me that they brought her on the reunion and just having her there for what? For what? But I can't wait to see the second half when Drew tears into her and tears her a new a-hole, because she was talking about that girl's son. And that was absolutely disgusting. Okay. She is trash. I said this before, and I believe that I have been confirmed that she is not Ralph's cousin. I did not believe that when I heard it. I just was like, how ironic is that? She came on as Sheree's friend, and now she's Drew's cousin. We know that Sheree didn't see it for Drew, and Sheree has done some shady stuff where it involves Drew, and now all of a sudden she is Ralph's cousin. I didn't believe that. But Drew I know a lot of people say that Drew's a liar. I don't think she's a liar. I think she is naive. I do believe that she is naive. And I'm not saying that she's perfect either, because none of these chicks on the show are. But I do feel that a lot of the persona that she has can definitely be blamed on her soon-to-be ex-husband, where it must be pretty rough when you're going through divorce and you have to live under the same roof. Granted, that roof may be, under, or above, I should say, 10,000 square feet. But yet and still, when you hate someone and you despise someone and you want to have them out of your life, to have to be under the same roof, I'm sorry, he would have to go and live in a Red Roof Inn or something, because you ain't living with me. You're not. But I guess whatever he does for a living, the job must be pretty good. And really, it's like, well, I need that money to help contribute to the bills. So, okay, you stay on this wing, I'll stay on this wing. You stay in the East Wing, I'll stay in the West Wing, I guess. But I'm sorry, I wouldn't be able to stay there. He wouldn't be able to stay there. I'd be able to stay there, but he would not. But anyway, I do believe that a lot of the persona that is out here about her, a lot of it can be attributed to her soon-to-be ex-husband, Ralph, because he's just absolute hot garbage. And so to see Sheree going off on Candy, talking about Candy needs to go and clean her nasty floors in her restaurant, that type of stuff like that. It's like, you know what? Don't try to take the subject off of you when you are the one that has the issues, because really, she should be with Hotel. She should be. I mean, we know he didn't really want to be with her because he's that much of a narcissist where he could screw an older woman, but actually being in a real relationship with an older woman, that would be a knock to his narcissistic ego. And I'm not saying that Sheree looks like an old lady, but she does not present as if she is the young chick that he would rather have on his arm, but he definitely wants to be taken care of. So, if she was younger, then it possibly could work out with him. But She Lame, she has been called out by one of the designers that she used for the fashion show that she had at the end of last season, because on the reunion, she wanted to respond to Candy and say, don't believe everything you see on the internet. When it comes to Sheree, I tend to believe it because she has the reputation of not paying people for work that she hired them to do. That's why the first season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, when she had the fashion show with no fashions that has been expertly dubbed by Dwight, I believe it was because she did not pay the person who was going to be doing the work. They never discussed that, but I felt like it was a money issue. I felt like it was someone that she did not pay, because I don't believe that person would have done that if she didn't pay them. Or I should say, if she did pay them, I don't believe that person would have done that. So I just believe that was an issue because she did not pay the person. So anyway, the person aired her out on social media. And this was actually from the Neighborhood Talk. And it said, the fashion designer goes off on Sheree for not paying him for styling her She by Sheree fashion show, despite her showing receipts at the reunion claiming that she did. And, she does that. She does that a lot, where she will actually claim that she has proof when it's not actually proof.
You're not paying the guy with the fashions, and that's why them fashions ain't on that website.
I love it, honey. I love it. Let's talk about it.
Those fashions were not on that site.
This is from
She started with me.
who has no skin in the game. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. So Rowan was helping. I paid Rowan paid him.
And she's saying
Back then.
saying
Don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Those Fashions on your runway. Half of them are not on your site.
So what? What's the bother with Sheree? Go mop them nasty ass floors in your restaurant. Go mop them nasty ass floors in your restaurant.
It's not talking
No,
about
Andy
you
said he
not
got it.
paying the guy with the fashions, and that's why them fashions ain't on that website.
I love it, honey. I love it.
You know, she loves to deflect. You know, you heard her saying, I love it. I love it. And she is just the type of person that she just doesn't pay her bills. I mean, you saw it on the last episode before the reunion aired. She was talking to her daughter. They were in the car, and the daughter was asking her about the daughter that Bob has. And they got into the subject of how she just doesn't get stressed about things. Listen, I'm all for a person who doesn't let anything bother them, because that's never been my issue. I'm sort of a worrywart, and I try my best not to be. But I feel, in my personal opinion, that people like myself, we tend to worry because we actually care. And so we always want to make sure that everything is done the right way, or people are being treated well, or, you know, people are making, you know, I'm making sure, like, I'm an employer. I always want to make sure that things are done the right way when it comes to my team and all of those different things like that. Someone like Sheree, she could give a crap if they got paid or not or whatever. So I feel that for her to say she doesn't get stressed about things is actually a flaw, because I feel that it's a good thing for people to not stress. But for her, it is actually a flaw, because when she was talking to her daughter about it, she was, it's weird to hear someone who's supposed to be worth millions, allegedly, to talk about bill collectors. How many times do you hear a person who's living in a multi-million-dollar home talking about bill collectors, not just paying your bills or paying your mortgage? A bill collector. A collector is someone that purchased a bad debt and they're trying to collect the money on behalf of, well, at that point themselves, because that company, they sold the debt off as a bad debt. So they're not even trying to collect anymore. So to hear someone who is allegedly worth millions, living in a multi-million-dollar chateau, talking about bill collectors, girl, you got a character flaw. You just don't care about paying your bills, and you're all about showcasing this lifestyle that you really, honestly, can't really afford to live. Because I would be 100% surprised if they brought this chick back in any capacity next season. I don't want to see her. But the designer went off on social media and responded to what she had to say, claiming that she got receipts that she paid. So it says, response to the Housewives reunion clip. Roman gave me my money back that I spent $2,400 on your bleep, and she gave me $2,000. You ain't give her bleep. I got receipts too. She said, you ain't got no money. That's why she just reimbursed what I spent, because she felt bad. I never got paid labor for my work on your runway pieces that you use, and I did in 4 days. Also was on set altering all them other clothes because they ain't fit the models. Day rate wasn't paid either. Don't play with me. After this episode, I am dropping all receipts sent. We got receipts! Exclamation marks times 5. And listen, I'm here for all of the receipts, because Sheree Lame is someone who we know to not pay her bills. It was even addressed in the last reunion when she was talking about how, well, if someone does work and I don't like the work that they did, then why should I have to pay for it? Girl, what world do you live in? They did the work. You pay for the work. If you feel that it was something that you want to dispute, you could either dispute that with them to negotiate the amount lower, or you take them to court. Or you maybe, if you pay via credit card, you dispute the charge, because they do have with your credit cards where you can dispute some things if work or a product was not as described, or you never received the item, or, different things like that. But we know when it comes to her, if she did those things, she probably would be doing it fraudulently. So I do not suggest that she do it in that way, shape, or form. But, hey, it's Sheree. So I believe the designer. I am sorry that the designer did not know her history, I'm assuming, because I don't really know at this point, especially when it comes to Sheree Lame, would do work for her up front without getting paid in advance. I wouldn't have done anything for her unless I had gotten paid up front. I don't know if the person thought that they were going to possibly be able to be seen on the show, and that would also help to build up the resume, because we know sometimes people will say things like that to say, hey, you'll be able to use this as a credit on your resume, you'll be seen on the show, which we know that the housewives, they don't have any pull on what gets edited out or what stays in. But sometimes some people like her, they may use that as an opportunity to pull people in, draw people in to work with them. So, yeah, I don't know if the person just didn't know her history, as well as thought that they were going to get more exposure from being on the Real Housewives of Atlanta doing this work, and it would also help to build them up. I hope they still get the recognition, and I hope they still get to build up their portfolio and their resume. But I'm happy that the designs were not on her website. And then she tries to give the excuse about when Andy asks her if her business has turned a profit yet. And she's like, well, in business, it usually takes like 2 to 3 years before you see a profit. First and foremost, that depends on the business type and model. And secondly, Sheree Lame had started this back in 2008, 2009, when the Real Housewives of Atlanta started out. And we know it's been different things over the time, because first it was supposed to be her own designs, and it was supposed to be high-end clothing, and now it's joggers and and workout equipment and things like that. Okay, fine, you can pivot in business. I'm a businesswoman, I'm an entrepreneur, I have no problem with that. But yet and still, you have not turned a profit yet. It's been how many years now? She just is not someone that is serious about business. And I am just so through with her. If they are doing this reboot, and I've heard different things, one, it's a complete recast, no one's coming back. And then I've heard others say, oh, well, they're going to bring back maybe about 2 to 3 people. I don't know. I really don't care to see any of them anymore. And it's not for issue of me hating anyone. I just feel that their stories are done. It's been 15 years. Are we going to, have them on Real Housewives of Atlanta season 50? You know what I mean? People on walkers and in wheelchairs. And I'm trying to be humorous when I say that. Of course, I don't believe that everyone that gets older has to be in those apparatuses, but I'm just saying, I don't want to see people who are 70 something years old being Real Housewives. It doesn't make any sense. It should be redone. It should be recast. It should be rebooted. And people shouldn't expect to see celebrities on these shows, because it didn't start out that way. So at any rate, Sheree Lame is absolutely ridiculous. She was called out about the alleged relationship over and over again, and now she can't even admit as to why she really allegedly pulled back from being with that big-headed ass clown. I'm just so over her. She was so going hard for this guy on the show, and all of that energy for her to come on the reunion to say she pulled back. So I guess we can say that when the men show up on the next episode, he's not going to be one of those people that's going to be there. I guess that's safe to say, right? Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section. Thanks so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.